It's vlog day 446. Yeah.
You can hear that wonderful sound that I woke up to this morning. I think those construction guys have made it down to my building. Close to it. We'll find out when we go outside. Oh, and it looks like it's raining outside, which means it's, well, no, it looks like it rained earlier. We'll still try out the rain jacket, see how it goes. Today, I'm going to rat some more. That's the plan, but today is French Friday. Excuse the obnoxious noise. Today, I wanted to talk, this month, I actually was going to dedicate to certain monuments and whether or not they're worth it. Today, I was going to talk about whether or not the Louvre was worth it. But I just made a video about it that I will link down below, and I'll also put a card up, whichever side it pops up on, and then you can go see the Louvre and decide if it's worth it for yourself. Is the Louvre worth it? Yes. Yes, it is. I think so. If you don't like art, beautiful architecture, history, sculptures, paintings, large crowds of people, then it's probably not for you. So, that said, what I'm going to talk about today instead is the confusion of moving to a new country, specifically France, obviously, because that's where I'm at, and that's the experience that I'm having right now. But there's definitely a level of like resettling, and it's happening to me again right now, partially because I've been here for over 6 months, partially because work is really slowing down with the tour guiding stuff, and now I'm having to like reshape my life a little bit, and there's some stress in that, but we'll figure it out. Something I want to add to the dream board too. I haven't added anything to this in a while. My dad's... I want to get my pilot's license with my dad someday. My dad's dad, my grandpa, who I never got to meet unfortunately, was also named Jay. I never got to meet him. Among other things, he was actually a pilot. He flew, you know, small passenger planes around the Palouse where we grew up and other places. I don't know, I just always thought it'd be fun to get my pilot's license and to do it with my dad. I just thought it'd be really fun. Father-son activity. And so someday, I'd like to do that. I've never told my dad that. He's actually gonna find that out through the vlog today. Hi, Dad. But yeah, that's one of those things that I've always thought would be a lot of fun to do with him. I would think he would want to get his pilot's license. I've always thought he would. Maybe one of these days, Dad, we can do that together. Oh, it's on there. Dreams. That's not construction at all. It's this guy. They've made it, the construction guys have made it down. They're just way quieter than the power washer. I've been thinking about how, like, the fact that I'm gonna try and choose to just act like I'm staying here, that I'm living here, that I'm not going anywhere, which is a risky choice to make in the first place just because there's no guarantee that it's gonna happen. There's always a chance that they're gonna kick me out the next chance they get. You can't live in the shadow of that doubt, in limbo like that forever. So for me, I'm definitely choosing to treat it like I'm staying in my mind, because only then can I actually build a half-decent life for myself.
What's up, Bobby? Oh, you're so cute. Oh, you're so lovely.
Rhythms and routines are interesting things, especially in different cultures. And then throw in there that work is changing for me right now as far as like having no tours, which is good because it means I'm getting more sleep, but it does end up shifting my schedule even later. And I turn into a total night owl where I don't go to bed until like 3 in the morning. And then if I don't want to waste the morning, then I gotta get up and not get as much sleep, so. Wah, wah. Getting into rhythms, I guess, is part of it, but when you're in a new country, the rhythms are really different because the things that you take for granted, especially convenience in this country, do not exist. Also, there are travel times that are different, and then rhythms as they get kind of screwy. Like, France just starts very slowly in the morning. People don't really get up and go quite the same way that they do in the States. They also stay out later, drink more, eat later. Like, there are a lot of things that change the rhythms of how you live, and you got to adjust to that. The weird adjustment right now is that as I'm doing less tours and I don't have that forcible, like, you have to get up, you have to get going, now it's back to being a self-starter in the sense of like, oh, gotta get up in the morning, gotta come work. And I just spent, what, 5 hours here? Only about 5 hours, which isn't too bad, but 5 hours working on revisions on Agner's box. which is coming along. A lot of people do comment on here that they want to move to France or they want to move abroad someday. And I think that's one of the things to kind of be prepared for, is that everything's different. Even if it's very similar or feels or looks the same from the outside, it's going to be different in how you have to process everything a little bit differently, whether it's because there's a language barrier, because things are done in a way that doesn't make sense to you, or it just doesn't make sense in general. There are plenty of things here that are done that don't make sense in general, just like anywhere. Knowing that it's going to take a toll on you mentally, and that you're going to have to readjust to it a couple times as you go. Not just even once. Like, I've been here for 7 months now, and I'm just now readjusting again to the changing of the seasons, to the changing of the flows of life. We're moving from summer and tourist season into a more stable fall. Like, there's just a lot of things that are always going on. And of course, that's life in general, but when you're alone in a foreign country, making a life for yourself or trying to start over definitely has a different impact, which is really important to be aware of. That said, I really highly recommend that you do move here. Well, I mean, I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know if I should even recommend that, because it's its own nightmare in a lot of ways, and it's not for everybody. And the romantic idea of moving to a foreign country is often quite alluring when the reality is less than alluring often. So those are important things to remember as well. I'd love to go into more detail, but I'm kind of curious as to what you're thinking and what it is that you're more interested in knowing about along those lines. And I really hope that when I present life here, it's through a realistic lens, because I don't want anybody thinking that it's just some sort of a dream existence over here, because there is a lot of stress and there are a lot of things that are difficult, but there are a lot of things that are really good. And obviously I think it's worth it, because otherwise I would not be putting up with it. Yo. I'm in that really awkward spot where I really want to go for a run. I also really want to eat, but if I eat before I run, I'm not going to want to run anymore. But if I run before I eat, it's not going to be fun. I'm going to go for a run.